Itachi Uchiha, one of the most enigmatic and tragic characters in the Naruto series. The man responsible for the massacre of his entire clan, the killing of his entire family. But behind those cold, calculating eyes lies a mind tortured by a series of impossible choices, haunting regrets, and deep psychological scars. In this video, we're diving deep into the mental struggles of Itachi Uchiha, and ultimately, what does Itachi's story tell us about the complexity of trauma and the human psyche? Itachi was born into the prestigious Uchiha clan, one of the most powerful clans in Konoha. From an early age, Itachi was recognized as a prodigy. By the age of 7, he had already witnessed the horrors of war, which left a deep impression on him. His exposure to violence and death at such a young age will become the first layer of psychological burden he carried. Itachi's genius set him apart, but it also isolated him. While other children played and formed bonds, Itachi was engrossed in the training, pushing himself to the limit to live up to the expectations placed on him by his clan and the village. The weight of these expectations, combined with the horrors of war, began to shape his worldview, instilling in him a desire for peace at any cost. While Itachi was grappling with his own internal struggles, the Uchiha clan was facing external pressures. Tension between the Uchiha and Konoha's leadership were escalating, with the clan feeling increasingly marginalized. Fugaku, Itachi's father, and the clan leader began to plot a coup against the village. Itachi, as loyal shinobi of Konoha, was caught in the middle turn between his duty to his village and his loyalty to his family. This internal conflict is crucial aspect of Itachi's psychological makeup. The immense pressure to choose between his family and his village created a cognitive dissonance that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Itachi's eventual decision to side with Konoha, leading to the massacre of his own clan, was a choice that no one, much less a child, should have to make. On the night of the massacre, Itachi carried out his mission with cold efficiency, slaughtering his entire clan, sparing only his younger brother, Sasuke. But beneath the surface, this act of betrayal and violence left deep psychological scars. Itachi was not a heartless killer, he was a deeply conflicted individual who believed that his actions, no matter how heinous, were necessary to prevent a greater tragedy. Yet, the emotional toll of this act was immense. Itachi knew that he would be forever vilified by his brother and the world, but he accepted this burden, choosing to live as a rogue ninja and a criminal in the eyes of the village. This decision reflects a profound sense of guilt and self-sacrifice, traits often seen in individuals suffering from severe trauma. Itachi's stoicism and detachment can be viewed as coping mechanisms, ways to deal with the overwhelming guilt and grief he felt for murdering his own kin. One of the most complex aspects of Itachi's psychological profile is his relationship with Sasuke. Despite his love for his younger brother, Itachi chose to play the role of a villain in Sasuke's life. He intentionally cultivated hatred within Sasuke, believing that this hatred would drive Sasuke to become strong enough to eventually kill him and avenge their clan. This manipulation of Sasuke is indicative of Itachi's deep-seated belief that he must atone for his sins. By positioning himself as a target for Sasuke's revenge, Itachi was not only ensuring his brother's survival and growth, but also seeking his own death as a form of redemption. This self-destructive mindset is a hallmark of someone struggling with immense guilt and the belief that their actions are beyond forgiveness. In his final moments, Itachi reveals the truth to Sasuke, not through words, but through actions, as he reaches out and taps Sasuke's forehead, a gesture he had done many times before. In moments of affection, Itachi's facade finally crumbles. He smiles, not as the villain he pretended to be, but as the loving brother he always was. After his death, the truth about Itachi's life and the sacrifice he made comes to light. Revelation that Itachi was a double agent, working to protect Konoha while assuring that Sasuke remaining safe reframes his entire story. Itachi's life was one of unimaginable sacrifice and suffering, all in the name of peace he would never live to see. His actions, while controversial, were driven by a deep sense of duty, love, and a desire to prevent further bloodshed. Itachi Uchiha's story is a tragic exploration of the psychological effects of trauma, guilt, and the burden of impossible choices. Itachi's detachment and stoicism can be seen as a symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as he struggles to cope with the horrors he witnessed and the atrocities he committed. His manipulation of Sasuke, while seemingly cruel, was a twisted form of protection, rooted in a desire to see his brother grow strong enough to survive in a brutal world. At his core, Itachi is a deeply tragic figure, a man who bore the weight of the world on his shoulders and made choices that no one should ever have to make. His story serves as a reminder of the devastating effects of war and conflict, not just on the body but on the mind and soul. Itachi Uchiha's life was defined by sacrifice, guilt, and an overwhelming commitment to a peace he believed was worth at any cost. While his actions may never be fully justified, they can be understood as the desperate attempts of a man trying to do what he believes was right in a world full of wrong. Itachi's story is not just a tale of a ninja, it's a profound exploration of the human condition, the complexities of morality, and the psychological tool of living a life in the shadows.